Beloved, welcome back to the shop. Great news, we finally sold the camper. The Arctic Fox is gone and I replaced it with this. This is my fourth van. The biggest mistake I ever made was getting a camper. I don't recommend campers. It is a pain in the behind. Unless you have a dedicated truck for it to live on, then taking the tailgate off, loading it up, it's just not worth it. I'm not a long time, I mean, we don't do like long trips. We like to do day trips, overnighters, and so van is the way to go. So this one we got right and we're gonna perfect it. So today we're gonna be picking, we have three choices. I've got three separate EcoFlow systems. I got a small one, I got a medium one, and I got a great big one. So we'll decide together here which one's gonna be the best fit, and let's start with that and see where that takes us. The big option and the most extreme would be a full swap out of the AGM system with the lithiums. Now the benefit of this would be you pretty much don't need a generator anymore. There's a generator on board. Would be able to run the air conditioning and everything off of this system alone because it's so robust. But what that would mean would be completely replacing the existing system, which is pretty nice in its own right with this here. And to be honest with you, I don't think I want to do that. If I were going to be dry camping for weeks on end, 7 days or so, it'd be a no-brainer. I would do that. But the way that we roll is usually just day trips, maybe an overnighter, maybe a long weekend, and that alone is enough. So I don't need a massive system like that. So the next option would go with a Delta Pro 3. The second option, or the medium one, would be the Delta Pro 3. Now this is all standalone. This actually has the same power as the big batteries that I showed you, but it's all in one unit without the separate fuse panel and inverter. The problem with this one is, where do you put it? I don't have a cabinet that's big enough for this to store in, so I would have to put it in, which would take up massive cargo space. And do I really need this much power? This is more something I'd probably look at if I was gonna go for an extended period of time, an elk hunting camp with solar panels, where I would have this where I could offload it and not have to have it in the living space. But for me and the way we run, I don't think that this is gonna work. And that brings us to the third option, which is the small option. And that brings us to the small option, which is I think they call this the 3 Max. This is the one that Manservant calls the Goldilocks. Since we got this one, man, we just use it all the time. It's smaller than the Delta Pro and it's more portable. It's got an extra battery. And this actually, I think, will fit in the cabinet. Let's take it over and see if it fits. Actually, before that, let me show you the work that I started without you to prep for this system. Of course, in a van, we're pretty limited for space, and as you know how it goes, her space up front, my space back here. So I am confined, but I did start yesterday. I kind of knew, I didn't know what system I was gonna go. I'm starting to narrow it down, but I did know that regardless, I needed this. So I put the fast charger in last night. So I tied this into the main bus, the electrical system, so that this will power whatever I put in. So whether we put the small one in the case here, I can plug this in, and whether the generator's running or the solar panels or plugged into shore power, this will fast charge whichever one it is with all the extra cord here. So what I'm thinking, what would be better than maybe the little one, the Goldilocks, right in here? It looks like it'll fit. It's gonna be close if it doesn't. If this fits, I think we have our decision. I'm much more inclined to have something that's tucked away, that's not in the main living space, because with all of the toys and the one wheels and the bikes and everything that we deal with, to take up this valuable trunk space in the back is, with a big unit, it's just not really an option. So hopefully this guy fits. Oh my goodness, that thing is tailor-made for that. Usually the battery goes on the top, but since this cabinet is so deep, I think I'll swap it, and that way we can access all the plugs. Now we'll tie this in here to the alternator charger. Now that battery down below is just extra, so I think it just doubles the capacity. I think they're the same one. The reason why it's smaller is because it doesn't have all the electronics in it. And look at that. It's already, it's charged, but it's charging right there. So this will charge up to 800 watts. I mean, that is about perfect. By the time I fill that up with gear, then that's not going to move around at all. I don't even think I could even, and I could pull it out if I need to, if we wanted to use it like at a campsite to charge computers or whatever you want to do. So yeah, I think that's, well, that's a whole lot easier than trying to tie down that big one. All right, well, I got other gear. I think that problem is solved. Let's show you some of the other stuff I like to put in vans. The key to van outfitting is to have dedicated equipment. Have it all set up, extra clothing, medical equipment, arms, all the survival equipment that you need so that you don't have to load it every time you want to go. That way, when you're tired and you don't want to have to think, well, where's my cooler and where's this and that? All you got to do is jump in, take a small bag, maybe hit the grocery store on the way out, put some food in the cooler, and you're not without, and you just learn and you build from that. So medical, I'm going to put a couple medical kits. Now, if you have kids, don't mix up your trauma kit. There's two kits that you need to have. Your trauma kit with a boo-boo kit. Two different things. Your trauma kit is to break in case of emergency. Someone is dying. They're not breathing. But there's no bandages. There aren't other little things that our little ones need, which is primarily a Band-Aid. How many times has a Band-Aid saved the day? So I separate these two. Trauma kit and boo-boo bag. This is going to have the, you know, the Neosporin, all that stuff. Second, you know, it's funny, my grandfather, he would never travel without what he called field glasses, binoculars. I don't know what it is about camping, but I always like to look around and see what's going on and what's that bird, or is that an elk over there? So I like to have field glasses. It carries on the tradition of my granddad. So let's go, well actually, we got a shovel too. We should go over all of it. Just a regular folding Glock shovel. The Glock shovel with the Glock knife is such a good combo. Is it the best? No. All of my best laid plans are going to change 50 times before this video is over, but you got to start somewhere. Speaking of arms, so I always carry a long gun. I always have my concealed carry, which is on me up front, but I'm going to have a long gun with some magazines. So Daniel Defense DDM4 V7 with a flashlight. One thing I do carry with extra magazines in my vehicles are these Safariland magazine holsters. And I carry them not because they're the best, because they're not. The smaller canvas ones are better. But these are just easy to use, and they have a really good clip that you can clip onto your belt. So it's nice to have magazines. If you don't have pockets, if you want to grab a rifle and you want to grab a couple extra magazines and not have to deal with a pouch or a tote, those are a pretty nice option, or some equivalent of it. So I'll put those in there. There's some more pistol magazines, rifle mags. I'll put the medical kit in there as well. But the boo-boo stuff I'll put outside, because the Sweet Loaf is constantly needing this. We dig in this daily. I've got this L-track mounted on here, and I put some of the eyes from my old van in there. And I like to hang stuff. This is a big hank of 4-to-1. It's a rope. Nice to have a rope. And hanging stuff is a good use of space. I've even got a small electric lantern here. That doesn't make too much racket. I got my shovel and my knife for future hangs. I'll probably put this stuff, this will be just general go-to-war survival stuff right there. How about that? That's about all I've got for you, gentlemen. I apologize for the lame video. I actually just got done recording the hardest Furious rant I've ever, I went harder on that than anything, and I rewatched it 3 times. And it dawned on me, I've already alienated half of the people and family that I know from my outspoken opinions, and this was much worse. I'm not going to put it up. I'm not going to put it up. Is it true? Am I right? Yes. But is it necessary? Maybe not. I'll have something better for you tomorrow. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.